made in a season with 261, and Charlotte wins that game. You know, it has been an eventful season so far, and there has been a lot of surprises, some good surprises, some bad surprises. Let's talk about ones that stuck out to us. Dirk, I'll begin with you. Biggest surprise of the season so far?
Well, there's a few things. Really liked just coming out of this highlight, like what Charlotte has done after their slow start. If you would have told me their starting five had like some of the best net ratings over weeks, I would have said you're absolutely out of your mind. So they're having a great season. That should be fun to watch and the play-in. But my real surprise is probably the San Antonio Spurs. And people are probably going to say, what? I just did not think they were already a 60 wins team this year. Wemby took another leap on both ends, and he looks like the most dominant player we have in our game. I didn't think the guards would take a leap that fast. Stephon Castle, incredible on both ends of the floor. Dylan Harper doesn't play like a rookie. All their role players are playing well, shooting the ball well. Keldon Johnson, probably sixth man of the year. So they're well coached. They always compete. They move the ball. They're solid defensively. So, I did not see them taking that step already this soon, this early.
Oh, yes. That's with a first-year coach, too. Well, I guess last year, but still, first year of actually being, solidified as the head coach. He's done a fantastic job. That whole staff has.
Yeah, Spurs really testing that inexperience point that everyone has been touting. What's sticking out to you, BG?
For me, I gotta stick with my boys in Boston.
Of course.
This was a team that everybody thought, okay, maybe play in. Jaylen Brown by himself. They lose Al Horford. They lose Drew Holiday. They lose Kristaps Porzingis. And you got Jaylen Brown, you got Derek White, sure, but then Peyton Pritchard comes in off the bench to start. They're playing a bunch of young guys, Hugo Gonzalez, Walsh. No one outside of that locker room thought that they were going to be the 2 seed. And now another surprise is Jason Tatum's back. And he's playing tremendous basketball. I mean, we knew it was going to take him a little bit to knock some rust off, but for a guy that underwent Achilles repair 10 months ago, he's looked great. So a lot of respect to Joe Mazzulla and their staff over there for just the brand of basketball that they coach and teach and preach, because it's shown throughout the season.
In this year's GM survey, the Celtics received just 1 vote to finish the season top 4 in the East. So it was the Celtics locker room and Matt Guy that believed in them. UD, biggest surprise for you?
It's a couple, but I got to go with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, about a year ago, we thought Matt Ishbia was probably the worst owner in basketball. I had to look up the coach. I didn't know where he came from. Found out that he was under Atkinson. He spent some time under Darvingham in L.A.
Spent some time under Steve Nash.
Spent some time under Steve in Brooklyn. So I had to look these things up. The KD trade didn't go through. You got back Dylan Brooks. You got back Jalen Green. We don't know what that ceiling was going to be with these guys. James Jones leaves. You have to rely on young guys. You have to rely on Gillespie, Grayson Allen, who's been a journeyman and moved around, so you don't know how this is going to pan out. You bring in all these guys and you start to put it together. D-Book's in and out. He stays healthy, but they're starting to play the game the right way. They're coming together. As we talk about habits so many times, this team has good habits. They compete as much as they can on both ends of the basketball. They try to play the game the right way. They try not to foul. They get up and down. They enjoy one another's success. So I look at this team right now, and I'm very impressed with them. I did not think they would be nowhere near the playoffs right now, and they're sitting in that 7th spot with an opportunity, depending on who they play, to probably win that series. So I'm impressed.
And they had a ton of injuries. If Brooks is not out that long, if Booker's not out that long, they might even actually be higher than the 7th seed. So,
great point. So
it's interesting, too. I mean, with all these surprise teams, we talk about how good the coaching staffs are and the type of basketball that they implement. I mean, that can't go overlooked. Every single one of those teams. Jordan Ott, first-year head coach. It's Johnson. We'll call him a first-year head coach. I mean, to be able to come in with youngish teams and do that is very surprising, and it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, certainly a nice surprise. All right, we have much more still to come from Stage 11 as we continue here on NBA Nightcap. Stay with us. We will be right back. Spurs and the Clippers playing tonight. No Wemby, though. But Spurs in the lead.
There it is.
No Wemby, no problem.
They have been rolling.
Harrison Barnes there connects on the 3.
Oh, headband Harrison.
HB.
Oh, give me that.
second quarter. Spurs lead by 13. De'Aaron Fox with the steal.
Hey.
Takes it to the rim for the easy flush.
Even his casual slow dribble is fast.
Moments for the Cavs. For
No, he did.
Crazy.
He's going straight to the locker room.
Yeah, it's one of them nights.
Yeah.
They cut it to 14 now.
Clippers didn't want us to see that highlight. They glitched the system. Cavs Warriors, second quarter. Donovan Mitchell pulls the three. Next possession. Ball finds Spider again. Knocks down a tough three. Cleveland up 9 early. Third quarter, Warriors down 8. LJ Cryer, Draymond Green work a two-man game, leading to a Cryer 3 in Golden State.
Oh, boy.
Again.
Within 5.
He's up too.
All right, some games still going on around the association, but let's talk about the Cavaliers. They are 2-2 in their last 4 games, allowing over 122 points. Where do you assess where the Cavaliers are at right now?
I mean, when Max first came back, I mean, the offensive explosion, I mean, the ball was moving, it was popping, they were getting up shots, they were getting in the paint offensively. And it happens a lot in the NBA. When you start feeling good about yourself offensively, then you just start to have defensive slippage on the other end of the basketball sometimes. But with a team like this, with the former defensive player of the year, a guy like Evan Mobley, you got guys like Jared Allen, you got guys who can defend, you got Tyson, you got guys who you can throw in a lineup and defend. There's no reason you should be giving up these amount of points. So when we're talking about Cleveland right now, we're talking about a team who's been consistently inconsistent. We want consistency from Cleveland. This is what we want to see going into the playoffs. Finishing up your season, when I talked about earlier, good habits, what's inside you reveals itself. Right now, we're not liking what we're seeing inside of Cleveland right now. There should be more there, especially coming down towards the second half of the season. And you better get ready, because you might have to run into a buzzsaw in the playoffs for them boys from Peachtree. The boys from Peachtree. So you better get ready.
So after a loss last week, Kenny Atkinson said this, that I told the team in the locker room that if we play defense like this, we're going to have a short playoff stint. Right now, we just have a mentality that we're just going to outscore people, and that's exactly what they're playing like, Dirk.
Yeah, it looks like it. Obviously, they got all their shooters back, and Merrill and Strus, and so they're looking okay offensively, but they got good defensive players. You know, they got length. They can protect the paint. They just got to fly around a little more, be on the same page, and if they're good defensively, they have enough weapons to win. But trade baskets never works in the playoffs.
Yeah. Be intentional, please.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time, though. Like, you know, it's easy to play defense when shots are going in and you come back down and you got juice and you can get in passing lanes and you're trying to get out and run. It's the moments, the best teams are the ones who the defense doesn't waver whether you're making shots or not. And a lot of these teams that we feel like have been consistently inconsistent, you know, we've talked about it throughout the course of the season, too many times relying on, are we making shots? Okay, now we're going to have energy defensively. And unfortunately, it's really hard to turn that around. And that's why we talk about how important this point of the season is, right? Like just coming out and having the mindset of, hey, we're going to sit down and we're going to play defense first. There was times in our career, and the Clippers, we weren't the best defensive team, but we had solid teams. We talked about as a team, like sometimes like, you know what? If we lose this tip, let's make sure we all sit down and we are like overly aggressive. We're overly hyped. We're moving a little bit too much, just to sort of like tell yourself subliminally and tell your teammates that like this is important to us. So sometimes you just got to find it. And Cleveland's a good team. They have great pieces, like you said, UD. They can find it. It's just a matter of making that a priority.
Yes.
Sticking there in the East, though, let's talk the Knicks. They have lost 3 of their last 4 games. They're 3-3 in their last 6. Well, what's going on in New York?
Let's just say the exact same thing that we just said about Cleveland. Just copy and paste that. You want to start, UD? Say the same stuff. Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean it's defense. It has to be a priority. I mean that was one thing with Tibbs that they did a really good job at, and you know, I know there's a lot's been said about roles and this and that. The roster construction could maybe be a little bit better, but they have great pieces. Like, there's no excuses at this point.
Yeah, I mean, over their last 4 games, they have a 126 defensive rating, the 4th worst in the NBA.
The thing that stands out about these two teams, and we know this, and I want to ask you guys a question. When you're not getting the ball, when you're not touching the ball on the offensive end, when you run back, after 3 or 4 times up and down the court of not touching the ball, how do you feel defensively? Because we're talking about 2 teams that are ball dominated by their guards. We're talking about 2 teams that are ball dominated by James, a ball dominated by Donovan, and we're talking about Brunson and the Knicks, who was a ball dominant guard. I know how it feels when you ain't touched it 3 or 4 times when you go back down on defense. Do you think that's having an impact on these guys? Because I'm watching this game, and I watched something very interesting from Cat at the end of the half last game.
Yeah.
Got a pass in the air, caught it on a dime, swung it to the corner. OG got a 3 at the end of the half, and he walked off with no excitement, no body language, no energy. And I'm looking at that, and I'm saying, that's a byproduct of a guy who's not happy for some reason. Something else is going on. He's not touching the ball. And we know when guys aren't touching the ball, they don't want to feel engaged. They don't want to be engaged defensively. Is that some of that going on in that locker room, in those locker rooms? Because that's what I see and that's what I feel sometimes.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, you're seeing it. I think at this point in the season, like we just said, it's sort of been like this all season long, right? So at the end of the day, you got to say, okay, what's more important, to get it right or to be right? Mm-hmm. To go into the locker room and say, guys, I got to be involved. I got to get some catches. And it is hard, right? Legs feel a little bit heavier. You haven't touched that ball a few times. You're going back on defense. But listen, if we had the answers and we had the fix, we'd probably be coaching. You know?
Oh, we could coach.
Well, yeah, we could. But
because you're so fast,
Dirk, you got the answers?
Get the ball or not. You're so fast, should defend whether you get the ball or not. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We talk so much about the Knicks and this new offense, and we're moving the ball. More guys are going to be playmakers, but in their slumps, they had that slump in January. The ball moved a little bit less.
Yes.
And this slump, it seems to be the same. So there's still time. Address it, and you have to ask every guy in the locker room, what's the most important thing here?
Yeah, I mean, still time at them playoffs right around the corner.
They come.
They come.